Get this thing going. In Yah's own way. Press along, saints, press along.
In Yah's own way.
Persecution we must bear. In our way.
The sweeter the victory. Press along, saints, press along. In Yah's own way. Press along, saints, press along. In Yah's own way. Persecution we must bear.
Hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory.
Press along, saints, press along. In Yah's own way. Press along, saints, press along. In Yah's own way. Persecution we must bear. Trials and troubles on our way. Oh, the hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, the hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, the hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory.
The sweeter
The victory.
Okay. Hey.
Barakataya Sabaoth, Most High. Barakataya Sabaoth, Barakataya Sabaoth, Barakataya Sabaoth, Most High. The name Yahuwah is a strong tower. The righteous run into it. They are safe. The name Yahuwah is a strong tower. The righteous run into it. And they are safe.
Yada Yahuwah.
Barakatayu Sabaoth. Barakatayu Sabaoth. Barakatayu Sabaoth.
Most High. All right. Time and everything. Power is going. And the thing is running on YouTube already. All right. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
This is Kazak Eliyahu Yasharal. And you're a little late today. The power problem here in South Africa will blow your mind. Stage 6 power cut. That means power off what? 8 hours per day, right?
Too long.
Yeah. So power was off from 12 o'clock. Should have been back by 2:30. Still no power. Don't know how long we can power on for. But let us begin and let's see what happens along the way. All right. So today we are going to be looking at, as you see on the screen, more revelations on the end time gathering of Yasharal. So last week we went back into prophecy and showing more insights into the things that we have that has been revealed to us. And today we continue again with more insights for those who love prophecy, for those who know and realize that these are the end times and are seeking more to understand more. And as the Most High, as we go along, the Most High reveals more and more to us. And for this one, you want to stick to the end because there is a certain prophecy that has been a very major prophecy that has been interpreted by those in the West. Or should I say, we're going to show that we believe that it has been misinterpreted. And it is one of those prophecies that are preventing people from obeying the Most High's command to flee out of the midst of Babylon. And it is very, very important you stay to the end to see what we are speaking about. And with no, what should I say? Won't leave you in suspense. It is based on Isaiah 60, verse 9, which says, "Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahuwah thy Elohim, and to the Holy One of Yasharal, because he hath exalted thee." So we, as usual, we give a foundation and give background until we come upon the true topic, right? So who's that? So we begin by looking at, is that Hassad? Huh? Oh. All right, let's go. Let's go to look at the whole story. Let's look at the whole story, and we'll go to the book of Baruch 4, chapters 1 to 37. We'll give the whole story to summarize first, and then we can move from that. Baruch 4, 1 to 37. Baruch chapter 4.
This is the book of the commandments of Elohim, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Yasharal, O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to Elohim are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Yasharal. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Elohim to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies.
All right, so here's the foundation. Yasharal sold to the nations because they moved Yahuwah to wrath. Continue.
For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to Elohim. Ye have forgotten the everlasting Elohim that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of Elohim coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, Elohim hath brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the law of Elohim.
So the law is the stumbling block for the children of Yasharal. We know the curses and the blessings of the law. You are lifted up if you obey, but you are cursed if you disobey. So the law is a stumbling block. Continue.
They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. Let them that dwell about Zion come, and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting hath brought upon them. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverenced old man nor pitied child. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and left her that was alone, desolate without daughters.
All right, this is Edom. These are the nations of Edom who have plundered the land of Yahuwah and brought away the people captive. And some of us here, me included, I included, children of the captives who were brought away captive. Continue.
But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies.
So that's the next stage. Going through the captivity, paying for what we have done, and then the Most High will deliver us from the hands of the enemies. Continue.
Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate.
And there's another foundational thing. Jerusalem is left desolate. And desolate means desolate. It does not mean a city in that place they call Israel. That is not desolate. All right? You cannot have a city, a big city, not a big city, a modern, bustling city like that and say it is desolate. Jerusalem is left desolate. Read the verse again, please. Verse 19.
Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. I have put off the clothing of peace and put upon me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days.
And another thing that we need to lay, another foundation we need to lay is the duality of the prophecies. When the prophecies are speaking, the prophecies usually speak from two different angles. This is why most people are confused with prophecy and don't even bother with it. Because when the prophecy is speaking, it seems to be speaking about Jerusalem, but it's also speaking about the people of Jerusalem. Likewise, in the Old Testament prophecies, Isaiah prophesying about Messiah, he's prophesying about Messiah, and he's also prophesying about Yasharal, Israel. And people will look at it and say, oh, he's talking about Israel, he's not talking about Messiah. That is what the Old Testament only people do. They say, see, it's talking about Yasharal, it's not talking about any Messiah. No, it's talking about both. And the prophecy, again, that we're going to unravel in the end about the ships of Tarshish, we're going to see it's the duality of the prophecy that has most of us confused. But we're going to see what it means. Continue, please.
Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto Yahuwah, and he will deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, our Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but Yahuwah will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our Yahuwah, which shall come upon you with great splendor and brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from Yahuwah. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck.
All right, so the process continues. Captivity, being rescued from the enemy, then seeing the punishment of the enemy, then seeing salvation and being exalted above the enemy. That's the process. Continue.
My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahuwah, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from Yahuwah, so, being returned, seek him 10 times more. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she received at thy ruin, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from Allure. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west, by the word of the Ruach one, rejoicing in the splendor of Allure.
No. This last verse here, verse 37, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. These are the children of the captivity, people like us. They come gathered together from the east and to the west by the word of the Holy One. Now, people in the west believe that we will be gathered. Many people in the west believe that we will be gathered by angels. The Most High is going to send angels and gather us. But what does it say here? Gathered by the word of Yahuwah. So Yahuwah is going to speak and tell us when to leave. All right? Gathered by the word. Just want to emphasize that. All right? So let's look at the gathering, the house of Yahudah or the house of Judah to gather together. Remember, the children of the captivity are of the house of Judah. The house of Israel, or the northern kingdom, has long been in captivity before Judah. The children of the who were dispersed in the slave trade to the four corners of the earth all over. These are from the house of Judah, the southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, and half tribe of Levi. So the house of Yahudah will gather together in the land of the Most High, according to the word of the Most High. So Zephaniah 2:1 says, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Nation of Yasharal, not desired. The Most High instructs us in the end time to be gathered together. Let's go to Psalm 50, Tehillim 50, verse 3 to 5.
Our Allure shall come, and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. He shall call to the heavens from above, and to the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Read 5 again, please.
Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Now that verse is very profound because that has been our experience as we always, that is always in the back of our minds, and this forms the core of what will be in the end. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And all of us here who are gathered here have made some sacrifice in some shape or form. The talk in the background is disturbing, please. Yeah, throwing me totally out of my thought process. Yeah. So all of us have had to make some form of sacrifice, and that sacrifice is usually with family, children, etc. We have had to leave them behind, and this forms, as I said before, the core of the ships of Tarshish that we're going to look at later. So his saints who have gathered together will make a covenant by sacrifice. And we know that Yahuwah does not change. Just as he did before, he will continue to do. Psalms 106, 46 to 47. Psalms 106. Hold on, please. 46 to 47.
He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Yahuwah, our Eluah, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy Kadesh name, and to triumph in thy praise.
All right, so that is the gathering. Isaiah 40, 10 to 11. That's showing prophecies of the gathering. Isaiah 40, 10 to 11.
Behold, Yahuwah.
Go ahead, please.
Behold, Yahuwah Eluah will come with strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm, and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young.
Isaiah 43, 5 to 7, looking at prophecies of the gathering of the Most High.
Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east, and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far, and my daughters from the ends of the earth.
Continue.
Even every one that is called by my name, for I have created him for my splendor. I have formed him. Yea, I have made him.
And Zephaniah 2, 1 to 3.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
The gather together there means assemble yourselves together.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahuwah come upon you, before the day of Yahuwah's anger come upon you.
And last week we looked at Revelation 12 to show that we are right in the end time, right before the fierce anger of the Most High comes upon us. And he says we should gather ourselves together before that day. Verse 3.
Seek ye Yahuwah, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yahuwah's anger.
All right, so he instructed us to gather ourselves together so that we can avoid, of course, falling into his wrath. So those are instructions for gathering together, but where should we gather? That is the next question. And so you can go back to our video about the gathering, or videos about the gathering of Yahuwah, where he told us where we should gather. And won't look at that now, but looking at a question, a big question on the other side of the world. There are people know that they are together in the land of Africa. Many people know they are together in the land of Africa. But some people are asking, where in Africa? So today we are going to look at what we found out, what the Most High has shown us since we have been in this land called South Africa. The most popular place, where people are being gathered, I think, is the land of Ghana. Is it so? Ghana, because they believe that the place where, was it in Jeremiah? It says, I will bring you back into the land from which I caused you to be captive. But the land in which he caused us to be captive is the land of Yasharal. The land, the place from which you were shipped is not necessarily the place. At least not necessarily, it's not the place which is actual land. Because, for example, when you are shipping goods for export and you ship it from a particular port, it is not necessarily the fact that you were in that area that the thing was made. It might have been transported, modern day, might be transported on trailers and then reach to that port in order to ship it elsewhere. All right? So the people of the Most High, the land of Ghana, I think Ghana is a great distraction and deception from the people of the world. Because if Ghana was the land, they would not let Ghana be so easy to access. 2019, when the 400-year captivity of our people was up, they started advertising Ghana as the place of return, giving free citizenship, everything, welcoming everyone from the diaspora. Now, knowing Satan, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Psalms 83 tells us how the Most High, or the nations of the earth, hate the Most High and his people, and how they conspire together in order that the people do not rise up again. So if they were interested to keep the people down, why would they be encouraging the people to go back to the promised land? They know the scriptures and know that the Most High says he will gather them together. And when he gathers them together, he's going to lift them up and they're going to rule the world. Why would they want to bring them back to Ghana? Why Ghana? I think that is a deception. Because the true place of the Most High, the true land has been hidden, because if the land is known and people return to it, then they would lose their power. What we have, as it says in 2 Ezra 6 verse 9, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Esau knows that they have to try every single thing to keep Jacob down. Why would they be asking or giving us free free passage to Ghana to lift us up? Just doesn't make any sense. So we did a video, and we won't go over it now, that showed that Psalm 18 was actually speaking about South Africa. I need to remember to put the links of these things in there. We showed in detail that South Africa is actually in the scriptures, but under prophecy, veiled under prophecy, that you have to really dig and to get out of it. And Isaiah 18:1 says, "Woe to the land." Are you there?
Sorry.
Woe to the land, shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. You know that the power is going already. Oh, power is going already. So how can I do it now? That's why I wanted to start it as quickly as possible. Woe to the land, shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. Now, I suggest you go back to that video, because it is so deep and so much, so hard to find the truth of it, that it doesn't make sense. I try to do it here. But I'm just giving you the verses. Yeah, are you at verse 2?
Yep. That sendeth ambassadors by the sea, even in vessels of bulrushes upon the waters, saying, Go, ye swift messengers, to a nation scattered and peeled, to a people terrible from their beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled.
All right, whose land the rivers have spoiled. And the rivers there refers to the spirits from the different nations that have spoiled the land. And we know a succession of Edomite nations have spoiled this land. And in verse 7 it says,
In that time shall the present be brought unto Yahuwah of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled, and from a people terrible from their beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden under foot, whose land the rivers have spoiled, to the place of the name of Yahuwah of the hosts. the Mount Zion.
You know what that verse is saying, though? That verse, verse 7, is actually telling you that he will call back or gather back these people in the end time. These people are going to awaken, and he's going to amass them and bring them to Mount Zion. All right? Now remember, Mount Zion was in Jerusalem, the capital of the nation. You'll call it capital today. All right? So the land is huge. The land is not a small little place. What do you call it, George? A parking lot?
Yeah.
It is not a small parking lot. It's a big land. And the headquarters, the base, is in Zion. He's going to bring back his people to Zion. So let us look at this other thing now, that the curses of the law. Usually when we're speaking about the curses of the law, we usually use it to show who the people are. But the curses of the law also shows us where the land is. So you can look at the curses and know where the land is. Deuteronomy 28:45-46 tells us this. Deuteronomy 28:45-46. How am I going to do this? Don't I have this to do that?
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
A sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So the curses will be a sign and a wonder upon our seed, the seed of Israel, forever. So throughout history, all you have to do is look at the signs, and you will know who the Israelites are, and you can also know where the land is. And Deuteronomy 28:49 says,
Yahuwah shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
So this points to all the Edomite nations. None of the Edomite nations regard the old nor the young. All of them are fierce. Yeah? So this is just a beginning, just a start to let us know where the land is. Wherever the land is, Edom has to dominate. Lamentations 4, I think of verse 21 onwards, tells us about Edom, how Edom will have his people in captivity. And so wherever Edom is, and also we have an article on our website, Who Are the Edomites Today? You can go and see who Edom is without a doubt in detail, showing who Edom is. And so when you see who Edom is, then you can pinpoint where the different places where they have occupied. Now, the next point we want to look at is the land of briars and thorns. Still looking into South Africa. The land of briars and thorns. All right, now, what can we do to keep this going? What about the generator?
Rico.
Can work?
Can we use Rico's, Jenny? Yeah.
It can, yeah, for the laptop. All right, people, the laptop battery is about to die. So we are trying to get some power so that we can continue. All right, so let's not go. Please don't go anywhere. Trying to make sure we do not get disconnected. Music, music, music. Song. He that loveth not, knoweth not Yah, for Yah is love. So
peace and happiness in my soul.
Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Switch this one over. Unto thee, O Yah, do I lift up my voice. O Yahuwah, I put my trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed, let not my enemies triumph over me. Unto thee, O Yah, do I lift up my voice. Do I lift up my voice. Unto thee, O Yah.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Do I lift up my voice.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed, let not my enemies triumph over me. Let me not thy way.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
On thee be ashamed.
Check, check.
Let it not thy way.
Alright, we're ready.
On thee be ashamed. Oh Yahuwah, I put my trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed, let not my enemies triumph over me.
Alright. Check, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Good. Alright, so. Alright, so let me first state that when we came to this land, of anything, we just obeyed the instructions of the Most High that was given to us, and we came here. We didn't think of it being any land or anything. It was just obedience, because here at Just a Word, we've always said we obey first and then we understand later. We are not like most people who will try to figure out what the Most High is saying before we move. We just obey, because that is what the patriarchs did. That's what they did in the scriptures. When Abraham was taught to move, Abraham did not ask the Most High, why? So why should we ask him why? But what I was saying is that since we've come here, we have some things that have been revealed to us, and we are actually in awe, realizing what is happening, and I want you to listen to us. So the Most High prophesied that, and this is how you know the land. He prophesied that his land would end up being a land of briars and thorns and thistles. And since we have come here, this is one of the first things that have hit us. Everywhere you look, there are thorns and thistles. Everywhere. Huh? What? Maca. Yeah, as we say in Jamaica. Everything is maca. Everywhere you go. It could be shrub. It could be tree. Maca. Even the grass. Some of the grass is thorns. So let's see what the Bible has to say about that. Isaiah 7:23-25. Because remember, as we tell you, we didn't come here calculating, oh, this is the land. No, the Most High says, go to South Africa, so we go. Isaiah 7:23-25.
And it shall come to pass.
Hold on, please. I have to get it on the screen for the let me get it. Make sure it's there for the people to see. All right, yes, go ahead, please.
And it shall come to pass in that day that every place shall be where there were 1,000 vines at 1,000 silverlings. It shall even be for briars and thorns.
It shall even be for what?
Briars and thorns.
I have never seen so much briars and thorns in my whole life since I came here. Yeah? I'm going to show you a couple other things that we've seen that are very astounding. Now, speaking about briars and thorns again, let me just give what did I say it the last time about the willow trees? Last week did I speak about it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, about the willow trees and the thorns.
No.
All right. I never spoke about the thorns. All right. So as we have been saying, what brought us here is the Most High's instruction in dreams about willow trees. And when we came to the first place that we went to, as I said last week, we went to a place in Joburg, and right as you step out, willow trees like nothing. And right there was a road called Valley Road. And the dream was about Willow Dean, and Dean means valley. So Willow Valley. And we stepped out, we see Valley Road, and on Valley Road is nothing but willow trees. Confirmation from the Most High. And when we moved and we came here, we didn't notice any willow trees. But when we checked out the trees that are out there, that have formed kind of a semicircle around, when we use the picture this app to find out the type of plants that we have, lo and behold, you realize that the trees that are out there are willow trees, African willow. All those trees, your big trees you see out there, those are willow trees, right outside the gates of here. So we know once again that's the Most High confirming that this is where He wants us to be. Now, the other trees that are out there, almost every single tree out there are thorns. Yeah? Only one other tree that I've seen, and another parasite that is on one of the willows. But there's another tree that I've seen, the Olea africana, that is a medicinal plant. We need to drink that more, because if there are thorns and thistles and willow, and then one single medicinal tree out there, what do you think that is saying to us? We need to drink that more. Yeah. But everywhere you go out there, you see thorns and thistles. And right at the gate, if you notice right at the gate, you have a patch of thorns, and right over it is a willow tree. What do you think that is saying? The thorns are the curses, and the willow tree is the hope. Yeah. So it's a hope that is above the curse. So the whole tale, when you go outside, the whole thing that it is saying is that the curses are there, but the hope is also there. Put your hope in me, and I'm going to take you out of this. Yeah? So the Yahuwah, let me get there again. Yeah, the land of briars and thorns. So let's get back to what he's saying about the briars and thorns. Verse 24.
With arrows and with bows shall men come thither, because all the land shall become briars and thorns.
All the land shall become briars and thorns. Continue.
And on all hills that shall be digged with the mattock, there shall not come thither the fear of briars and thorns, but it shall be for the sending forth of oxen and for the treading of lesser cattle.
So, what is out there in the fields? Cows. And so there is no fear of briars and thorns out there. Yeah? It is being used for the sending forth of oxen and for the treading of lesser cattle. They couldn't be more accurate than that.
Is the oxen the tractor?
What I'm saying, he said, on all hills that shall be digged with the mattock, there shall not come thither the fear of briars and thorns, but it shall be for the sending forth of oxen and for the treading of lesser cattle. So the Most High is telling us that there is hope. But let's continue with more prophecy, briars and thorns. Isaiah 5, 1-9. Isaiah 5, 1-9.
Now will I sing to my well-beloved, a song of my beloved, touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill. And he fenced it, and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes.
Continue.
And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes.
So this is these are the children of Israel. The Most High nurtured them, but they ended up turning against him. Let's see what he's going to do. Verse 5.
And now go to. I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down.
And it shall be what?
Trodden down.
South Africa has been trodden down of the Gentiles to this very day. It has been trodden down of the people who actually really do own it. The small 10% who own almost all of the land, etc., and most of the wealth. Okay? Verse 6.
And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns.
There shall come up what?
Briars and thorns.
All right, continue.
I will also command the clouds, that they rain no rain upon it.
And this area is a semi-desert, yeah? And right up the road there you have the desert. And there are many people who believe that Jerusalem is in Namibia. They have found ruins there and they believe that it is Jerusalem. Continue, verse 7.
For the vineyard of Yahuwah of hosts is the house of Yasharal, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry.
So remember we said in the start that the prophecies are usually dual. So this is talking about physical and spiritual. It's talking about Yasharal coming up as thorns, but it's also speaking of the land physically, literally being a land of thorns. Isaiah 32, 13 to 20.
Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city.
So wherever the land is, it must be a land of briars and thorns. Now, I don't know Ghana. Is Ghana a land of briars and thorns? I don't know. I don't know.
That guy said it was forest.
Huh?
That guy said it was forest.
It was forest.
Yeah.
The land has to be a land of briars and thorns. Verse 14.
Because the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left. The forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks.
And we're going to look at Namibia in a bit as to how much it matches with this prophecy. Continue.
Until the Ruach, or the Spirit, be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest.
All right, so he said it was forest, right? He said Ghana was forest. The place will be a land of briars and thorns until the Most High turns it around. And he's going to turn it around when he gathers back his people there and he punishes the heathen, and then the land will be a fruitful field. So the land will not be a land of forest until, look at verse 15, until the Ruach, or the Spirit, be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for a forest. So the land will remain like that until the end. Continue.
Then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the fruitful field. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness and assurance forever.
And remember, we said the prophecy is dual, so the fruitful field is literally fruitful, but it also means that when we become fruitful ourselves, when righteousness reigns in us, and we are fruitful. Continue. with the fruits of the Ruach, yeah.
And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation, and in sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places.
All right, so are his people not dwelling in peaceable habitation? Huh? No. South Africa has one of the highest murder rates in the world. Yeah? So, in most countries, crime is rampant. Wherever his people are, by the way, I don't think I said it here. I don't know if I said it here. Wherever his people are, just Google countries with the highest murder rates in the world. If you want to know where the children of Israel are, Google countries with the highest murder rate in the world. That is where his people are, because the curse says, a man's eye shall be evil towards his brother. And your brother does not mean your literal brother, it means from the same nation. So because our eyes are evil towards each other, we'll be killing each other. Go look at the top 10 nations. These are the children of Israel. And of course, in the list we have Jamaica represented here. We have St. Kitts represented here. We have Lesotho represented here. We have South Africa represented here. Yeah? There's no chance. None of these things are happening by chance. We are not here by chance. It's the Most High's gathering of his people in the end time. All right? Continue.
And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation, and in sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places. When it shall hail, coming down on the forest, and the city shall be low in a low place. Blessed are ye that sow beside all waters, that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass.
All right. So that was one of our observations. Land of briars and thorns. Another one of our observations. Did I speak about this last time? Yes, I think I did, about the fruit trees. Lack of fruit trees. Yeah? A land void of fruit trees. And we asked our brother here, why don't you plant fruit trees? He said he planted fruit trees almost a year ago. Yeah. And what happened to them?
They're still not growing.
Sure, you gotta get this on the mic to let the people know that this is no joke. Come. Come, tell us about it. No, this is serious. All right, so you have this property.
Shalom, shalom.
Hold on, let it go. Test it.
Shalom, testing.
Go ahead.
Testing, 1, 2.
It's low.
That's mine.
Oh, that's yours. Go ahead again.
Testing,
Go ahead.
testing.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. No, I planted avocados, mangoes, apples. I think also grapes. So you can see them even from here.
Yeah.
I planted them a little more than a year ago, and actually, what 10 years in order to grow. But I was amazed yesterday when Amaka actually said to me that you guys plant fruit trees after a year or so, you start seeing them getting bigger. So I was amazed at that, you know?
Yeah.
Because here we're used to that. If you plant a fruit tree, it takes a long time. I don't know the real reason why people don't plant fruit trees, but I know they take a long time in order for them to grow here.
Yeah. And so that has been our observation. When you go through this place, people don't plant fruit trees. And that was one of the things that astounded us from over that side of the world, especially from Jamaica, where almost everyone has a fruit tree, at least in their yard, sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6. Whole yard full of fruit trees. And when you come here, you see the big land and no fruit trees. Yeah? What does the Bible say about that? What does the Bible say about that? Ezekiel 34, 27 to 28.
And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land, and shall know that I am Yahuwah, when I have broken the bands of their yoke, and delivered them out of the hand of those that serve themselves of them.
You see that? They shall be safe where? In their land. What is it saying here? It's saying that when the Most High turns everything around, that is when the trees shall yield their fruit. Yeah? Not before. So as long as the Most High has not yet lifted up the land, there's going to be a curse on the fruit trees of the land. Read verse 27 again, please.
And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit.
This is when, what it's speaking about now is after the Most High turns things around. But he has not yet turned things around. Continue, please.
And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase. And they shall be safe in their land, and shall know that I am Yahuwah, when I have broken the bands of their yoke, and delivered them out of the hand of those that serve themselves of them.
You see? He has to first deliver us before the place becomes fruitful with the fruit trees again. Verse 28.
And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beast of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid.
All right, so here's another thing that we're speaking to Vuya about. The people here, the water situation, we are...
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the place is dry. There's you saw when we wanted to do the immersion, how we struggled to find rivers in actual fact.
Yeah.
So the place is a semi-desert, so it's dry. So the water as well, the depth of it, underground water varies. But here at the place where we are now, it's about 120 meters deep. Yes, in other places closer to Mafikin town, closer to town, you find that you can find water at about 30 meters deep. But you know, it's a cost. You have to be able to hire a rig so that it can come and drill. So it's a very expensive exercise.
So most people here cannot afford that?
Most people cannot afford it because most people actually buy water in 2,500 liters. And then just pour it and use it for household use. So for you, in order to farm with other places where they have flowing water, they can be able to direct the streams from the river. But with us here, our rivers, we have very little rivers. You saw yourself, we went the whole place looking for water.
The whole day.
You understand? Even the place that we found, thanks to Yahuwah, but the water is still very little for you to be saying you're going to be doing farming.
Yeah.
So if you want to do farming, that means you have to drill a borehole, and that can get very expensive, within thousands and thousands of rand.
Yeah.
So this is why most people don't actually farm. You know.
So what they do, they keep cattle.
They keep cattle, yes.
And yeah.
No, they keep cattle. What we have actually mostly is not farms, it's what we call meraka. That's where we keep the animals.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we keep cattle, sheep, and goats. That's what people do.
Which goes back to the verse that we did that said, they will not fear the briars and thorns, but it will be for cattle.
It will be for cattle, yes. Yeah. That's what we do.
All right, thank you very much.
Can I just share about the rainwater?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since I've been here nearly 6 months, for some strange reason, when it rains here, they get hundreds of thousands of gallons of water and nobody collects it off the roofs. I've seen 2 houses out of hundreds of thousands of houses that we've driven past. I've seen 2 houses with a gutter system on the house to collect rainwater. Now, is that because of the curse and the oppression? Because every other country collects.
Yeah, I think many people have just given up with the whole farming thing because sometimes it gets very dry. You know, sometimes it gets very dry. So it's not a place favorable for farming. But yeah, for cattle farming, it's favorable, yes.
And you see, it matches the word to the T.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no coincidence with the Most High. Now, speaking about the fruit trees, Devarim, Deuteronomy 28:18, what does it say?
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep.
You see? Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, which means their children, and the fruit of thy land. Now the fruit of thy land refers to the produce. So what are we speaking? Were we speaking about a while ago? We are speaking about farming, cursed. That's why what's happening here. And the fruit, the literal fruit trees, cursed. What a coincidence, though. It's no coincidence.
No.
I believe this is the land, and we're going to show you why. So let's look at a couple more curses of the law to let us know where the land is. Deuteronomy 28 verses 33 and 58 to 61. Deuteronomy 28 verse 33 and 58 to 61. Read 33, please.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labours shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Hey, what's that? As we've said before, all the land from Johannesburg coming on both sides are owned by Edom, the white people. They came from their European place and took over the entire nation of South Africa. And all the productive farmlands, all the farming land, isn't they're the only ones who do the farming, really?
Yes, it is. Yes,
so all the produce that you get in buy in the supermarket are from the produce of the white people.
Yes, it is. From all the areas actually that get a lot of seasonal rain and that have the most fertile soil are owned all by white people. That's how it is. Yes, it is.
What they do, the places that get the most rain and have the best soil, they control those places. And then the places like here where it's semi-desert, they don't want these places, so they leave it up to the locals. So in these places are the only places that the locals can get land. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors. And when you drive from here to Joburg on both sides, you see people in orange usually, right? These are the locals. All thy labors shall a nation eat up. So these are low-paying workers, and the white people own the land, and the black people work on it as low-paying labor wages for like slaves. Perfectly matching this prophecy. How many nations can match the Deuteronomy 28 like South Africa? None. None. All the prophecies. All right? And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Which is the last nation in Africa to get independence? South Africa. And what was there before South Africa gained independence? Apartheid. Isn't that?
Yes.
I don't know how long before, but it was there before.
Yes.
Now, apartheid is organized, legalized modern day slavery. Yeah? Who have always been the slaves in the book? The children of Israel. Yeah? The last nation for legalized, accepted slavery to be in is South Africa. There's no nation in the earth that matches the curses like South Africa. None. Why is it that this was the last place they gave up? Why are they determined that they are not giving up this place? Yeah? Why are they have Burki militias? Burki militias. They have militias that they say they train regularly because they say they are not going to give up the land, they will fight to the death for this land. Why? Why do they love this land so? Eh? You think this is any ordinary land? You think if this place was just an ordinary place, this would happen? Look at the British in Jamaica. It's time for Jamaica's independence. Not a fight, no nothing. They just left. And they sent a representative, I think it was Queen Margaret, and they had something at the National Stadium celebration in 1962, and they left quietly. Why are these people determined that they're not leaving? Why? And saying it belongs to them. Huh? Deuteronomy 28:58. All right, you can go to, 58 to 61.
If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book,
You're too low.
that thou mayest fear this splendorous and fearful name, Yahuwah thy Elohah, then Yahuwah will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance.
Stop there again. I tell you, there's no nation in the world that matches the curses like South Africa. Which nation in the world has the highest HIV infection rate? Which nation? South Africa. One of the highest rates of rape. South Africa. Almost every negative thing you can think about. These things happen with the children of Israel are because they're under the curses. Yeah? Even great plagues and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses and of long continuance. And the life expectancy here is very low.
The COVID
Yes.
variants. The first said was from here, Omicron or something like that, and then there's this one again.
Yes.
Also coming from here.
It's no coincidence. Verse 60.
All the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid, also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, then will Yahuwah bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed.
Until thou be destroyed. So every sickness and every plague which is not written in this book. So that's why when the new sicknesses and things come out, they come here. They have to pass. You can't have a sickness passing through and it doesn't go through South Africa. Yeah? Curses of the Lord. All right. So there's nothing new under the sun. What we are going to look at now is Abraham. Abraham was called into the land as a sojourner. This is why we believe that this is the land. The Most High brought us here, and without a doubt has been showing us signs upon signs, wonders upon wonders, indication after indication. And one of the first indication was in the people. When I was in Joburg, I was kind of, I didn't feel at home in Johannesburg at all. Yeah. The people I saw there, even the black people, it didn't feel like they were one of you. When I came here and I looked, I felt at home. Trust me, because the people here, I'm telling you that between our people over that side and over here, I just believe this is where we came from. It is no coincidence that most of the people here are from Jamaica or have a heritage. It's no coincidence that the South African flag has the Jamaican flag inside of it. I believe this is where we came from, initially, originally. We are the same people. Yes, there are some pictures of mine, and I was about to delete some of them, and I said, well, there's no difference in how they look. And not only how they look, in mannerisms, in humor, in everything, the same people. Yeah? So I believe the Most High brought into the land the same thing that he did with Abraham. He brought a sojourner. Just as how we are sojourners here. He brought Abraham to sojourn into the land that he promised him. So it was promised him, but when he brought him in there, he did not give the land to him. He said sojourn in the land. And I believe that's the same thing that's happening to us. Genesis 12, verse 1 and verses 4 to 6. Let's see what we're talking about. Genesis 12.
Now Yahuwah
Hold on, please.
to Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee.
So this is the same thing that happened to us. Same thing that happened to us, same thing that happened to me. The Most High showed me and showed us, the group that we're in, that we all need together in South Africa. And when he showed me, and I was tarrying and dilly-dallying, he sent me a terrible wake-up call and showed me in the dream that I have found you wanting, and pointed a finger just like Nebuchadnezzar's son, pointing a finger that I must go and go now. And that is why I just jumped up and booked the earliest flight as possible and jumped. Yeah? So Abraham never needed this wake-up call. The Most High said, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. It's exactly the same thing that happened. Exactly. So let's see, verse 4.
So Abram departed as Yahuwah had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came.
So the land of Canaan was promised to Abraham. But what? He was not given the land. He was told to just go into the land. Oh, where am I? Yeah. Genesis 37:1. Because the same thing happened to Isaac. What we are showing is that the Most High, I'm telling you, the Most High does not change. I am Yahuwah, I changeth not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So he did the same thing with Abraham. Let's see him do the same thing with, I think, Isaac. Genesis 37. Yes.
And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan.
You see? It happened to Abraham, it happened to Jacob. Jacob did not inherit the land promised unto him. Because when he was sleeping, the Most High said, I will give you the land. But what did the Most High do? Made him sojourn there. Just as how we sojourn here. Yeah? And the same thing happened to Yitzhak. Genesis 31, 17 to 18. 17 to 18. The internet is
31.
17 to 18.
Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padanaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan.
So Isaac was also living in the land of Canaan, where it was Hittites, the Jebusites, and all sorts of ites still had the land there. All the Ham. So I want you to look carefully at this passage here now. Is the land. Hebrews, the book of Abarim, 11, verse 8 to 16. Hebrews 11.
By faith.
Oh, hold on, please. Yeah, go ahead.
By faith, Abraham,
Too low.
By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went.
Are you seeing this? When he was called to go out into a place which he should which he should after receive for an inheritance. Yeah? It's the same thing for us. We are called to go to a place which we shall after receive an inheritance, because the promise is for us to inherit the land of Israel. Isn't it so? Is there any call for us to inherit the land of South Africa? Is there any prophecy to inherit the land of South Africa? No, it's to inherit the land of Israel. So Abraham was called to sojourn in a land that he would after receive for an inheritance. Likewise, I believe we have been called to sojourn in a land which we should after receive for an inheritance. Don't tell the Burkis that, well, they come for you. Yeah. Verse 9.
By faith he sojourned in the land of promise.
In the where?
In the land of promise.
In the land of promise. He sojourned in the land of promise. Now, I don't know. Let me tell you something about, I don't know about anybody here, but us here, I think it's us here with the group. We did not want to come here. I did not want to come here. Yeah? I was comfortable back home. Let me tell you something. I was comfortable back home. And that is why when the call came to go to South Africa, I was lagging. Honestly. Many people flee or depart because they want to. I did not want to. So when I see these prophecies, I'm saying, I didn't lead myself. The Most High led me. If the Most High led me, and in leading me, and the news came out to other people, now, and the Most High put it on in this ruach or in the spirit of other people, like this is right, or this makes sense, or I too am going to move. We did not want to come here. You were over in Jordan. You was in Georgia, was having a nice little life over there in the United Kingdom.
We were having a nice, cool life in the UK.
We didn't ask to come here. But now that we are seeing these prophecies, so what we are saying, we moved by the leading of the Most High, not knowing where we're going or why we're going. We just say we are going together. And we are seeing this. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, Most High. And we see so many, never seen any nation with so many curses matching. And the prophecies about the briars, the thorns, the fruits and everything. What can we say? But I believe that this is the land of promise. Yeah. Call me an idiot, call me a fool. But I did not calculate it as being thus. It is when I'm coming, things are being revealed to me. And I'm seeing, I believe that this somehow is the land of promise. I was watching for the past week or so too as well. I've been watching some videos of some people who have gone through some extensive studies. Some of the videos last for hours showing that South Africa is the land. And what do they use? They use the Bible and they use old maps. Because they changed the new maps. The old maps had the old names of the old Bible cities, and they changed them to new names. Yeah, if you go all over, even in Joburg, all the places are named Dutch names. Yeah, all of them Dutch. Why? They covered up the old names because they do not want you to know who they were. I even watched one that showed the 4 rivers that were described in Genesis as originating in South Africa. And that the Garden of Eden is somewhere down here as well. I watched some that blow your mind. And then when I watched those videos, and these are videos that just came up, I didn't ask for them, they just came up in my newsfeed. And then when I'm watching all of those history and all of those things, and then I'm looking at and seeing all the curses and everything manifest, call me a fool, but I just believe that this is the land. Yeah. Hebrews 11 verse 9.
By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Yitzchak and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise.
And let me tell you something. Why do we have to be fulfilling all of these things here? Dwelling in tabernacles. What do we think tabernacles mean? Tents.
Tents.
What are those things outside here?
Tents.
Did we plan to match this prophecy by getting tents and dwelling in tents? No. Read 11 verse 9, please.
By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Yitzchak, which is Isaac, and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise.
You see? So Amakai and Atara, you're dwelling in tabernacles with Shamuel, heirs of the promise. You see? This is it. You didn't plan it. Verse 10.
For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is Allure.
So, just like us, isn't this what we're looking for? We say we want to enter the kingdom. Yeah? And the kingdom, of course, the builder is Yahuwah. And the same thing Abraham did. There's no difference between Abraham and us except that we ask questions. And we hesitate like yours truly did. We hesitate in doing things. That's where Abraham is a mile ahead of us. Yeah? Verse 11. No, that's it. 16. All right, yeah, go ahead. Verse 11.
Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised.
Who's going to be the Sarah here? Continue, please.
Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth.
All right, strangers and pilgrims. Verse 14.
For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country.
Continue.
And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned.
You see? So if we were mindful of the country, we might have sought to go back. How many people thought about going back? You need a spanking, all of you. Any of you who did that. Any of you who thought about going back, you will spanking. Verse 16.
But now they desire a better country, that is, an heavenly. Wherefore Allure is not ashamed to be called their Allure, for he has prepared for them a city.
For he has prepared for them what?
A city.
So you see this sojourning? He calls us to sojourn, like Abraham. But he has prepared for us a city. What is that city that he has prepared for us?
Zion.
Mount Zion, Jerusalem, which I believe is somewhere up the road there. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, let's go to Jerusalem now. Let's go to the city. Jerusalem was prophesied to be desolate in the end times. Remember we said, and we were speaking about it, He did not tell us that Jerusalem will be a city, nice bustling city, international city over there in the Middle East. He said Jerusalem would be desolate. Leviticus 26:27 to 45, so long. Then Leviticus 26:27.
And if ye will not for all this hearken unto me, but walk contrary unto me, then I will walk contrary unto you also in fury, and I, even I, will chastise you 7 times for your sins. And ye shall eat of the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. Down your images, and cast your, and my soul shall abhor you. And I will make your cities waste, and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation, and I will not smell the savour of your sweet odours.
I will make your cities waste, and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation. This is in the law. If Jerusalem now is a nice, bustling little international city, it means that Torah, Jerusalem shall be waste.
I will bring the land into desolation at it.
Desolation, yeah? I will bring the land into desolation. Verse 33.
And I will scatter you among the heathen.
And shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Yeah? Where did it come from with this place that they call Israel? It's against the scriptures. And we know there are those who say they are Jews and are not. Yeah? These are not the people of the book. No, yesterday, Naomi and I were sitting over there and watching these guys over here work. And you know, she was saying how she was hot. And I said to her, imagine white people in the wilderness for 40 years in this heat, working like that. Think about it. So we were marveling at how the men were in there, even on hot, and worked in the touching. She said she wouldn't last 5 minutes. But yet still, these people who say they're not wilderness for 40 years. No. But how can I believe? So, 32 again, please. And I will bring the land. All right, so sorry about that, but you know that I should be recording it and I didn't record it. Pin. Oh, it's recording. All right. So where was I again? Leviticus 26. Yes. So it says, I will scatter you among the heathen and will draw out a sword after you. And as we said, that we can see here that we are really the same people. And I believe that this is where somehow, if these are the people at least from whom we were scattered. Verse 34 says, we're speaking about the land will be desolate. Right? 34 says,
Then shall enjoy her Shabbats, as long as it lieth desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Shabbat.
you see? As long as the children of Israel are in captivity, the land is going to enjoy her Shabbat. Why? The land is going to be desolate. Now, to enjoy the Shabbat, it means rest. And rest does not mean partial rest. A Shabbat is what? Total rest. So total rest means the land is actually barren, desolate. Nobody uses it, nothing at all. Yeah? Verse 35.
As long as it lieth desolate, it shall rest.
That's what I just said. Go ahead.
Because it did not rest in your Shabbats when ye dwelt upon it.
Mm-hmm.
And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintlessness into their hearts in their lands of their enemies. And the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when no one pursueth.
All right, so the land will be at rest, and while we are in the land of our enemies, we will have no rest. That's just the curses. The land rests, but the people will not rest. Verse 37.
And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, where none pursueth, and ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies.
Yeah, no power to stand before your enemies. The Edomites run the world. They have all the power in the world in terms of arms, armies, etc. The nations of the Israelites have no power. The worst armies you can find, or the weakest armies you can find, are those of the Israelites, the nations in which there are Israelites, in which are ruled by Israelites. Verse 38.
And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies' lands, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them.
And that's why our lands are so sinful. Think about a nation like Jamaica. People pining away in sin, utter sin. That's verse Leviticus 26:39. Go to 40, please.
If they shall confess their iniquity, and the iniquity of their fathers, with their trespass, which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Yitzchak, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember.
And I will remember the land. Why does he say, I will remember the land? Huh?
Because the land is cursed.
The land is still desolate. So he will remember the land. So the land is just there, park, nothing there. Yeah? It is when his people turn back to him, that is when he will remember the land. So that is why he calls his people to gather, because he is now going to remember the land. Verse 43.
The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Shabbat.
You see, he repeats it again. Continue.
While she lieth desolate without
them. Continue.
They shall accept of the punishment of their iniquity, even because they despised my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes.
Continue.
And yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. For I am Yahuwah, the Elohim.
So the covenant of the Most High, even though he has us under captivity, it is not utterly broken as long as he has some people there with him. So he always leaves a remnant to keep his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob alive. Yeah? Continue.
But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their allure. I am Yahuwah.
I am Yahuwah. So the land will be desolate. Ezekiel 12:17-20.
Moreover,
Hold on, please. Ezekiel 12:17-20. If I'm going too fast, please tell me. Go ahead, please.
Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, eat thy bread with quaking, and drink thy water with trembling and with carefulness, and say unto the people of the land, Thus says Yahuwah Elohah of the inhabitants of Jerusalem and of the land of Yasharal, they shall eat their bread with carefulness, and drink their water with astonishment, that her land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence of all them that dwell therein.
And what will happen? Verse 20.
And the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall be desolate, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah.
All right. So, are we tired of hearing it yet? Jeremiah 9 verse 8. Just one more. Don't go as yet. Let me get it going. Jeremiah 9:8. Read it, please.
Their tongue is as an arrow shot out. It speaketh deceit. One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart he layeth his wait.
Continue.
Shall I not visit them for these things, says Yahuwah? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? For the mountains will I take up a weeping and wailing, and for the habitations of the wilderness a lamentation, because they are burnt up, so that none can pass through them, neither can men hear the voice of the cattle. Both the fowl of the heavens and the beasts are fled, they are gone.
They are
Gone.
They are gone. So, desolation of Jerusalem. So, when will Jerusalem be restored? Jeremiah 33, 6-13. End time. Jeremiah 33, 6. Go ahead, please.
Behold, I will bring it health and cure, and I will cure them, and will reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth. And I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Yasharal to return, and will build them as at the first.
Stop there, stop there, stop there. This is very important. Those who say they are Jews and are not, they say that they are from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Yeah? When the Most High is restoring Yasharal in the end times, how many tribes is he going to restore? Does he promise to restore? Huh? 12. All tribes. So they are down there saying they don't know who the rest of the tribes are, yet they say they are restored. Read the verse again and let us see who will be restored. Jeremiah 33, 7. This is when the desolate places will be built. Up to this point, everyone will be desolate. If all 12 tribes are not brought back together, then it is a false nation. Read, please.
And I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Yasharal to return, and will build them as at the first.
Judah is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Israel is the other 9.5 tribes. So all 12 tribes have to return for any Israel or Yasharal to be valid. Verse 8.
And I will cleanse them from all their iniquity, whereby they have sinned against me. And I will pardon all their iniquities, whereby they have sinned, and whereby they have transgressed against me. And it shall be to me a name of joy, a praise and an honor before all the nations of the earth, which shall hear all the good that I do unto them. And they shall fear and tremble for all the goodness and for all the prosperity that I procure unto it.
Verse 10.
Thus says Yahuwah, again there shall be heard in this place, which ye say shall be desolate, without man and without beast, even in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem, that are desolate, without man and without inhabitant and without beast. The voice of joy and the voice of gladness.
All right, stop there. Is there the voice of joy and voice of gladness in that place they call Israel?
No way.
Isn't there a long-standing thing with the Palestinians and the Iranians, Hezbollah sometimes shelling their place and they're running and bawling and everything, eh? People don't let them fool you, yeah? They're using power and the fact that they dominate the earth to keep people deceived into thinking that this place is really the place of the Most High. So, verse 11.
The voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the voice of them that shall say, praise Yahuwah of hosts. For Yahuwah is good, for his mercy endureth forever. And of them that shall bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. For I will cause to return the captivity of the land as at the first.
As at the first. So when Yasharal is restored, it's going to be restored as at the first. When Yasharal is ruling and no nation can touch them. And of course, it is promised that Yahushua Mashiach the King will return and rule. Verse 12.
Thus says Yahuwah of hosts, again in this place which is desolate without man and without beast.
Hold. So they say Jerusalem. Yeah? Doesn't Jerusalem have man in there? But the nation, before the Most High raises it up, it should be desolate without man and without beast. Empty. So I'm telling you about, speaking about that place called Namibia. We're going to look at it. Again, in this place which is desolate without man and without beast, continue.
And in all the cities thereof shall be an habitation of shepherds causing their flocks to lie down. In the cities of the mountains, in the cities of the vale, and in the cities of the south, and in the land of Benjamin, and in the places about Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, shall the flocks pass again under the hands of him that telleth them, says Yahuwah. So
it is desolate, right? Just want to make that point, that it is desolate. So there are some people that believe that Jerusalem is actually in the nation called Namibia. Now, Namibia is very interesting. They say Namibia is the size of Texas or something like that. I guess how many people live in Namibia? 2.5 million people. Huh?
It's so much empty.
It's empty. 2.5 million people. You know how many people live in Jamaica? 2.9 million. And you can drop Jamaica in South Africa and it gets lost. In Namibia and it gets lost. But Texas is a huge place. And Jamaica is a tiny place. And in the United States, I think the only state that can compare with Jamaica is the smallest state, Rhode Island, I think. Yeah, Rhode Island. And compare Rhode Island to Texas. 2.5 million people is nobody at all. Now it says Namibia is a country on the southwest coast of Africa. It is one of the driest and most sparsely populated countries on earth. The Namib Desert in the west and the Kalahari Desert in the east are separated by the Central Plateau. There's nothing really there. Namibia is divided from west to east into three main topographic zones, the coastal Namib Desert, the Central Plateau, and the Kalahari. The Namib is partly rocky and partly, in the central stretch, dunes. While having complex flora and fauna, it is a fragile and sparsely covered environment unsuitable for pastoral or agricultural activities. Now, if we look at the curses, it is places like these the Most High is going to restore. Desolate place, it is a desolate place like this, it is speaking about, that is going to restore. Yeah? So, is Jerusalem in Namibia? Yeah. Oh, yes. 14. Let's go there. Good. Thank you. 2 Chronicles 7:14. What does it mean to heal the land? 2 Chronicles 7:14. Yeah, Amikai, you said? What did you say?
I said the land has to be desolate and something wrong for it to get healing.
Exactly. 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14.
For if I have boasted...
No, 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14. Very famous verse.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land.
And will heal their land. That means the land is going to be desolate, it's going to be ill, it's not going to be productive, it is going to need a supernatural overhaul for it to come to something. Yeah, so it's because of the sins. That's why the land is desolate. It's the same thing. And if you go to Isaiah 34:35 again, as we're talking about this, Isaiah 35 verse 1, starting at verse 1. You got it?
Yeah. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose.
And blossom as the rose. The desert. So we have the Namibia desert. That's what we just read. And we have the Kalahari desert. On both sides, you have the desert. It says it shall blossom as the rose. Verse 2.
It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The splendor of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the splendor of Yahuwah and the excellency of our Eluah. Strengthen.
All right, no, that's it. So the Most High, it's the place that actually is going to need healing, and he's going to heal and restore the land. All right, Isaiah 61 verse 4 to 9. So when his people are restored, that is when the desolate places shall be restored. Read, please.
And they shall build the old wastes. They shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations.
So what is going to happen? The Most High is going to heal the land, and the land is going to blossom up, and the old desolations will be restored. Meaning, you're not going to build a new Jerusalem. Just like how Nehemiah or Nehemiah rebuilt the wall of the temple, remember that? Yeah. It's the same way the old places are going to be restored. Yeah? And who is going to build it? Verse 5.
and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers.
All right, leave it at that. We want to go to Amos 9:11 to 15, showing that in the end, it's the desolate places that will be rebuilt when the people are returned. Amos 9.
In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
You see, I will raise up his ruins. So the old desolate places will be raised up. So it has to be a place in which there are ruins to be raised up. That's what's going to be rebuilt. The place is going to be desolate and going to have ruins, and then they are going to rebuild the ruins. Verse 2, 12.
That they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, says Yahuwah, that doeth this.
Verse 13.
Behold, the days come, says Yahuwah, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt.
Because the land has been healed and the place has gotten so productive. Continue.
And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Yasharal,
And they shall
build the waste cities, and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens, and eat the fruit of them.
continue.
And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled out of their land, which I have given them, says Yahuwah thy Elohim.
All right, so that's it. That's that process right there. So, yeah. All right, so we said earlier that there is a prophecy of the ships of Tarshish that we looked at today. We had a conversation yesterday with Lebone and Willow, and brought out a startling revelation which we want to share. Misunderstanding that has many people over that side. Those people who refuse to flee out of the midst of Babylon, making a grave error. Sitting, waiting on a ship, we're going to see exactly what we found out yesterday. Now, there is a prophecy that we need to get an understanding of before we can give this explanation. Because the Most High said in the book of Yechezkel, in the book of Ezekiel, that no one can save their own children in captivity. Yeah? Many of us, I included, never paid attention to this prophecy. I just thought it meant that no one can save their own children. Full stop. Never realizing that the Most High was actually speaking about when he puts us in captivity, none of us can save our children. Ezekiel 14, verse 12. Hold on, please. Let me get it. Ezekiel 14, verse 12. Read, please.
The word of Yahuwah came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously.
Hold on. When the what sins?
When the land sinneth against me.
Continue.
By trespassing grievously. Then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it.
So what is the topic here? The land, right? The land.
Yes.
Yeah. Continue.
Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it.
We're in it. We're in what?
The land.
The land. All right. Continue.
They should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, says Yahuwah Elohim.
All right. So previously we took this to mean that nobody can help their children. Yeah? But it's speaking about when he brings his wrath on the land, when he sends them into captivity, etc. Let's continue.
If I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beasts.
Pass through what?
The land.
All right. Just want you to say it. Verse 16.
Though these three men were in it.
We're in what?
The land.
Continue.
As I live, says Yahuwah Elohim, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate.
What shall be desolate?
The land.
The land is the topic. The land is the subject. Continue.
Or if I bring a sword upon that land.
Upon that what?
That land.
All right.
And say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it. Though these three men were in it, as I live, says Yahuwah Elohim, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves.
Though these three men were in it, in what?
The land.
All right, verse 19.
Or if I send a pestilence into that land, and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast. Though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it.
Were in what?
In the land.
Continue.
That land. As I live, says Yahuwah Elohim, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness.
How many people had thought that this prophecy meant that you can't help your children at all? Oh, so many geniuses understood that and knew that it was about the land. Wow, you're bright. I didn't realize it. Huh? All right. Verse 21.
For thus says Yahuwah Elohim, how much more when I send my four sore judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast.
From the land, man and beast. Verse 22.
Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters.
Stop, 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 stop. Yet behold, therein shall be left a
remnant
that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. So whenever he cuts off from Yasharal, he leaves a remnant. Read 22 again, please.
Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and you shall see their way and their doings, and you shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when you see their ways and their doings, and you shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, says Yahuwah.
So this is the righteous remnant that is left, always leaving a righteous remnant. So we just want to underline that it is not saying that you cannot help your sons and your daughters. It is when captivity is brought upon us. So what we are looking at is the restoration of our children. Now, in the book of Job, we saw a kind of similitude of the restoration of Job's children. Job 1:1-5. And we know the story. We'll just give an outline. Job 1:1-5.
There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Elohim and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feastings were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Allure in their hearts. Thus did Job continually.
All right. So we know how the story goes, that they were destroyed and killed, and Job was brought down to nothing. So let's go and see what happened to Job in the end, in Job 42, verse 10 to 13.
And Yahuwah turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also Yahuwah gave Job twice as much as he had before.
So it is for us now, the Most High is turning our captivity, because we, being in captivity, he is going to turn our captivity around. And let's see what he did when he turned Job's captivity. Verse 11.
Then came there unto him all his brethren and all his sisters, and all they that had been of his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house. And they bemoaned him and comforted him over all the evil that Yahuwah had brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earring of gold.
Verse 12.
So Yahuwah blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, for he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she-asses.
Verse 13.
He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters.
All right. So Job was blessed more than before. And it is the same thing that is promised for us in the end time, that he is going to bless us and we shall eat the riches of the Gentiles and all sorts of things. We're going to see the similarity. Now, another similarity of a man being blessed in the end with his children is Moses. Now, Moses is very significant because Moses is very similar to us in that Moses went to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt to bring them into the promised land. Now we are coming out of Babylon, seeking to go into the promised land. Now, when Moses left, let's go to Exodus 4, 18 to 20. When Moses left, he left with his children. What did I say? Exodus 4.
18 to 20.
Exodus 4, 18. Read it, please.
And Moses went and returned to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said unto him, Let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said to Moses, Go in peace. And Yahuwah said unto Moses in Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life. And Moses took his wife and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of Allure in his hand.
So he returned with his children. Verse 24 to 26. No, we don't need that part of it in it. So what happened? Because in the book of Exodus 18, it tells us that Jethro brought Moses' children with him. So to find out what happened, we'll go to the book of Joshua 14, 13 to 18. The book of Joshua 14, 13 to 18. All right, let me read it. And Aaron, the son of Amram, the brother of Moses, was in Egypt walking at the river side on that day. And Yahuwah appeared to him in that place, and he said to him, Go now towards Moses in the wilderness. And he went and met him in the mountain of Allure, and he kissed him. And Aaron lifted up his eyes and saw Zipporah, the wife of Moses, and her children. And he said unto Moses, Who are these unto thee? And Moses said unto him, They are my wife and sons, which Allah gave to me in Midian. And the thing grieved Aaron on account of the woman and her children. And Aaron said to Moses, Send away the woman and her children, that they may go to her father's house. And Moses hearkened to the words of Aaron, and did so. And Zipporah returned with her children, and they went to the house of Ruel, and remained there until the time arrived when Yahuwah had visited his people, and brought them forth from Egypt from the hand of Pharaoh. Now, let me tell you something. This is very similar to what happened to many of us, myself included. In my case, my daughter that lives with me, she was packed, her suitcase was packed to come with me. Airline flight booked, everything. Just when I was getting ready now, packing the things to get on the taxi, I was stopped by her mother. She doesn't want her to go. And she was there. I was trying to plead with her to just let her go. And the mother insisted. And then I just stopped and I said, It is the will of Yahuwah. And I had to leave my daughter. Same thing here. Yeah? And I know this happened with other people as well. I remember Atara and Amikai, same thing. Well, it was not the last minute for them, but it was earlier out when they were told. So this is very similar. Well, I want you to look at verse 18. That they remained there until the time arrived when Yahuwah had visited his people. I want you to look at that very carefully. Until Yahuwah had visited his people. So he has called us to do a job. And that job is going to be, it would be held back if we have children with us. So some of us are given one child, some of us are given none. Yeah? Until the time arrived when Yahuwah had visited his people. That was when the children were restored to Moses. I want to think of that. Remember this. Remember this, remember this, remember this. So we go to Exodus 18:1, verse 10. When the time arrived when Yahuwah would deliver his people, his children were brought to him. Yahuwah never, ever changes. Exodus 18:1 to 10. Exodus 18:1 to 10. Yahuwah does not change. Read, please.
When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that Allah had done for Moses and for Yasharal his people, and that Yahuwah had brought Yasharal out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back.
After he had sent her back, he took her, and what did he do? Verse 3.
And her two sons, of which the name of one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Eliezer. For the allure of my father, said he, was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of Allure.
So after Moses had done his job, far enough into his job, the Most High brought his children back to him. I want us to remember that. Verse 6.
And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and her two sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that Yahuwah had done unto Pharaoh, and to the Egyptians for Yasharal's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how Yahuwah delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahuwah had done to Yasharal, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians.
All right, so he did this for Moses, and many of us, our experience is similar to Moses. Let's continue with, I did that. So let's continue now. We will go to, they shall bring their sons in their arms. The ships of Tarshish. I want you to listen to this very carefully and to watch this very, very carefully. This prophecy is kind of, you have to pay attention to it. And as I said before, it was yesterday while we were having a conversation among the brothers here, with Lebone and Willow, that this actually came out. And it was a great, pleasant surprise for us. So let's go to the book of Mark 10:29 to 30. Mark 10:29 to 30. You know, this teaching was probably one of the first time we had so many people contributing to it. It was a conversation, and several persons, I think it was Anava who came with this Mark 10, several persons contributed to it. And it was very, very a great experience to, get this revelation. Let's go. Verse 29.
And Yahushua answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my sake, and the good news. But he shall receive 100-fold now in this time, houses, and brethren, and sisters, and mothers, and children, and lands, with persecutions, and in the world to come, eternal life.
So when you leave your children in the world, for example, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon. And you have to leave your children. You have to leave husband, wife, sister, brother. Yeah? The Most High says you shall receive 100-fold. And what does it 100-fold include? It includes house. You're going to get house. You're going to get brethren. You're going to get sister. You're going to get mothers and lands with persecutions. And of course, the end time, it's going to be persecution. To flee out of Babylon and then to go into the wilderness of the people, you are going to get persecution. But it's going to end up with eternal life. So we just want to make sure that it's telling you that you are going to get back that which you lost. So let's go to Isaiah 49. We're going to start at verse 18. Isaiah 49, verse 18. Very popular prophecy. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Isaiah 49, verse 18.
Lift up thine eyes round about, and behold, all these gather themselves together and come to thee.
All right, so we wanna establish who are these that are gonna gather themselves together and come to thee. These are us. These are us who have gathered ourselves together in the land, who have made a sacrifice unto Yahuwah by giving up whatever we had and fled into the land. These are us. Read 18 again.
Lift up thine eyes round about, and behold, all these gather themselves together and come to thee. As I live, says Yahuwah, thou shalt surely clothe thee with them all, as with an ornament, and bind them on thee as a bride doeth.
So we want to establish again that this prophecy is twofold. This is speaking out to us personally, and it is also speaking to Jerusalem. So when you see it, thou shalt surely clothe thee with them all. This is Jerusalem, will have them all in there. So we have to know when it is speaking personally and when it is speaking to about Jerusalem. This is why these prophecies are so hard to understand. The Ruach has to tell you when it is speaking. It's like when David is speaking, and sometimes you hear David speaking, and then he goes and speaks as Yahuwah. You have to know when he switches and is speaking as Yahuwah and not of David, or else you will not understand it. Continue verse 19.
For thy waste and thy desolate places, and the land of thy destruction, shall even now be too narrow by reason of the inhabitants, and they that swallow thee up shall be far away.
Look carefully at this. Thy waste and thy desolate places. This is speaking about Jerusalem, right? And the land of thy destruction. This is speaking about the people. Shall even now be too narrow by reason of the inhabitants. Speaking about Jerusalem. And they that swallowed thee up shall be far away. Swallowed who up? Swallowed up the people. So you see switches from Jerusalem to the people. That's why it's so hard to figure out. Let's continue.
The children which thou shalt have, after thou hast lost the other, shall say again in thine ears, the place is too strait for me, give place to me that I may dwell.
So this is speaking about both the people and Jerusalem. Jerusalem lost those who went into captivity, but those of us who return and have gathered themselves together here, these would have lost their children because they have had to leave children behind. Yeah? But they would have gained children in where they are, in that the Most High would bring people among them, even as it is doing here with us. We have been gathered and we have gained children. And we have gathered and we have gained brothers as well from who are here. Verse 21.
Then shalt thou say in thine heart, Who hath begotten me these, seeing I have lost my children, and am desolate, a captive, and removing to and fro? And who hath brought up these? Behold, I was left alone. These where had they been?
Why these verses are so powerful? This is, you have to look into this, speaking both about Jerusalem and about us. Then shalt thou say in thine heart, who hath begotten thee to birth, right? Seeing I have lost my children and am desolate. This is Jerusalem. But it says a captive. This is speaking about us who have been in captivity. And removing to and fro. This is speaking about us. Because Jerusalem is in one place. Jerusalem cannot move to and fro. Right? And removing to and fro. This is speaking about us. And who hath brought up these? Behold, I was left alone. These, where had they been? Jerusalem had been left desolate. Now the children have returned. We too were left alone without children. Yeah? And now we have children among us. Verse 22.
Thus said Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles, and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring their sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders.
Let me tell you something. Remember, in verse 18, we had already gathered ourselves together and come to Jerusalem, come to the land, right? So in verse 22, 2 now, he's saying, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. Who do we think that is speaking about? These are the children of those who have gathered themselves together. Those who have left the land, made a sacrifice, left children behind, like Moses left their children behind. Their children will be restored to them. And we're going to see in Isaiah chapter 60, matching precept matching words, verses to show that. And verse 23 says,
And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am Yahuwah, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
All right, so we're going to see who it's talking about here. We're going to reinforce it. We're going to go to Isaiah chapter 60, because we want to see and show who will be coming on the ships. Isaiah 60, verse 3.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
Louder, please.
Lift up thine eyes around about, and see all they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
All right, thy sons, they gather themselves together. And remember, in 49, those who gather themselves together are those who left first, made a sacrifice, just as when Moses left and he left his children behind. Verse 5.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
So these people, let me tell you something, these people who have made the move and made the sacrifice, gathered themselves together, then they will be rewarded with the riches of the Gentiles. And while they are being rewarded with the riches of the Gentiles, the Most High is going to also reward them, just like Moses, and bring their children to them, the children that they left behind. Verse 5. Oh, you did that already?
Verse 6.
Yeah, go ahead.
The multitude of camels shall cover thee, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of Yahuwah.
Continue.
All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will splendor the house of my splendor, my excellence.
I will exalt the house of my splendor. All right, so verse 8 now, because this speaks of the people who have gathered themselves first, all right? Now, this is what's going to happen to them when their children are returned. Verse 8.
Who are these that fly as a cloud, and as the doves to their windows?
Of course, this is speaking about airplane travel today. All right, Isaiah was seeing this flight, and he used this language to describe what it was. Who are those? These that fly as a cloud and as the doves landing on their windows. Verse 9.
Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahuwah thy Eluah, and to the Holy One of Yasharal, because he hath glorified thee.
And that's it. The ships of Tarshish. The ships of Tarshish. The people many people over in the West are saying that they are going to be brought on ships. But who are going to be brought on ships? The sons and daughters of those who gathered themselves together. Just as Moses, when he left from Midian, his children were left and had to go back. And when the Most High visited the children of Yasharal, his children were brought to him. It's the same way Yahuwah does not change. The people who gathered themselves together, who fled out of the midst of Babylon, the Most High is going to restore their children unto them. These are the children who are going to come in the ships. The ships are not for everyone. The ships are to restore the children of the people who had enough emunah, who had enough faith to leave. And if you go back to Isaiah 49:23,
and kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am Yahuwah.
for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Most High is going to reward his people for their emunah, for waiting on him. Yes? So those of us who have left children behind, there is a hope. There is a hope that the Most High will bring our children to us. All we have to do is to endure. And the Most High showed this in a vision to Sister Atara, that showed a certain child being protected by the Most High. And no doubt that protection will be upon our children, so that our children be restored to us. So those on that side who are waiting on a ship, thinking that you can continue in Babylon, continue enjoying the filth of Babylon, and then the Most High is going to send for you without you doing nothing, without you showing any form of emunah, without any form of faith. Just remember this, Revelation 18 verse 2. Revelation 18 verse 2.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul ruach, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Babylon has become super filthy. Super filthy. So those who are waiting in Babylon, after the Most High told you to come out, then continue, please.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
All right, and what does the Most High say? Verse 4.
And I heard another voice from Shemaim saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Please don't stay in Babylon waiting to be delivered on a ship. Yeah? The ship is for those who have made a sacrifice unto Yahuwah. Yeah? Not for those who choose to stay in Babylon because they are comfortable there. And I heard another voice from Shemaim saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Verse 5 says,
For her sins have reached unto heaven, or the Shemaim, and Eluah hath remembered her iniquities.
And what the Most High going to do?
Reward her even as she rewarded you. and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double.
Fill to her double. Come out of her, my people. All right?
Number one, came up here, they call it the flee.
Yeah.
And it was called the anthem for righteousness.
Thank you. Yeah. When Abraham heard the call to flee, he fled. And the Most High counted to him for righteousness. All right? Most High says, come out of her. Come out of her. All right? So this was update on more revelations on the end time gathering of Yasharal. More revelations as to the place itself, and more revelations as to the ships of Tarshish. All right? So flee out of the midst of Babylon. We have several videos on this. I think we have a playlist. I think I need to share it here as well. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, with all the teachings that we have done on it. And yeah, and on our other channel, Chazak Aliyahu channel as well. So what can we say? Thank you for listening, for watching, and I hope you got something from this. All right? Anyone with anything to say before we go? Yeah. Turn on the number 3 is on. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanna emphasize that Baruch 4 that you read.
Yes.
Baruch 4 verse 36.
Oh, let me get it. Baruch 4. $36.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
O Jerusalem, look about thee towards the east, and behold, the joy cometh unto thee from Alua. So this is actually saying, look to the east, joy cometh from the east.
Yeah.
Now, go to Isaiah 43:5.
Isaiah 43:5. Yeah, whenever you're ready, George. 43:5. Yeah.
Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west.
Yes. Yes. It says it will bring your offspring from the east.
Yes.
And then when you go to Baruch 4, it says, look towards the east, joy coming. So what is the joy that Yahuwah is bringing from the east? And 37 on Baruch 4, it says, lo, thy sons come whom thou sentest away, them that gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of Alua.
Yeah.
So this is why he's saying, you'll bring thy sons from the east. And then on Baruch it says, look towards the east. There's a joy that is coming from the east. I'm bringing your sons from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, shalom.
Shalom, from the east to the west. All right. Anyone else? Are there any questions on YouTube? I didn't ask if anyone was checking YouTube. Any questions? Oh, it's a very short chat today. No questions? All right. All right. Okay. All right. So this is Kazak Eliyahu Yasharal from Just a Word. And I want to thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe if you have not. All right. Remember, Just a Word Radio at justawordradio.com, our 24-hour online radio that has teachings, music, all sorts of things that you need to fill you up. So, Just a Word Radio don't need to go anywhere else, okay? The word of truth, 24/7. All right, so shalom and thank you once again. Until next time, shalom.